You're listening to Best Forevers, a podcast for kindred spirits, a podcast that encourages you to love more on your friends and to further consider the issues that plague friendships. I'm Alysa Lucas, and I'm currently sitting among the most award-winning people I know. It's true. And who also happen to be best friends. So that's really exciting. I'm sitting in the locker room of Central Michigan University women's basketball team with graduating seniors and best friends, Reyna Frost and Presley Hudson. Hi, Reyna.
Hi.
Hi, Presley.
Hi.
Did you like that introduction?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me on Best Forevers. It's been an absolute joy to watch you play basketball for the last 4 years, but then to also learn that as teammates that you also describe yourself as best friends. I'm hoping that we can all learn more about your friendship because as people will hear in a second, there is a huge list of accomplishments of all the wonderful things that you've done together, individually with the team and for Central Michigan University. Listeners, I want to give you a taste of what Reyna and Presley have accomplished here at CMU. But if I listed everything, it would end up being the entire episode. And of course, we like to hear about their friendship as well. So I'm going to share some of their accolades, kind of like a proud parent talks about their children succeeding in life and in their dreams and as they're graduating from college. Yes, that is happening in just a week or so. So as I share this information with you, I want you to know that I gathered it from CMU Chippewa's webpage, the CMU women's basketball team's social media accounts, and articles written by Evan Petzold and Ben Zeitler from the student newspaper CM Life. And all the links are found in show notes. And one acronym you might need to know as I go through all of their wonderful accomplishments is the MAC. Central Michigan University is part of the Mid-American Conference, otherwise known as the MAC. So here we go. On April 8th, Central Michigan women's basketball Twitter page indicated that they were going to be celebrating the most successful class in CMU women's basketball history at their awards banquet. And so here's what follows in terms of the things that they've been able to accomplish in the last 4 years. They were back-to-back-to-back MAC regular season champs, back-to-back-to-back-to-back MAC West Division champs, that's 4 back-to-backs, back-to-back NCAA tourney bids with a trip to the Sweet 16 in 2018. Presley started out her career at Central Michigan University with the MAC Freshman of the Year award. In her sophomore year, she was named the first-team All-MAC selection, academic All-MAC honoree, and set a program single-game record with a career-high 43 points against Ball State, and she tied several program records during that year as well. In her junior year, she won the Dick Enberg Scholar Athlete of the Year award. She earned first-team All-MAC selection, earned academic All-MAC honors, broke the single-season three-point record with 125 triples, set a single-season record in both assists and free throw percentage, and she's leaving Central Michigan University as the assist record holder with 643 assists and the all-time scoring record with 2,309 points, which surpasses the men's program as well. Presley is known as a gym rat, and she recently won the NCAA Women's Three-Point Contest and the overall three-point contest by making 77 of 100 three-pointers across 4 rounds, and that is the most made in that NCAA event history. And soon she'll be heading to the training camp for Seattle Storm. Wow. Makes me feel like looking at my resume is a little inadequate. So let's move on to Reyna so I can feel even worse about myself. In her freshman year, she was named to MAC All-Freshman Team, and she was a Freshman of the Year runner-up. And if you recall, the person who won and she was the runner-up against was Presley Hudson. As a sophomore, she was named third-team All-MAC selection, academic All-MAC honoree, earned the team's rebounding and Tim Brockman Community Service Awards, and finished the season 6th nationally and first in the MAC in rebounds. In her junior year, she was named second-team All-MAC, voted MAC Tournament MVP, MAC All-Tournament Team honoree, earned academic All-MAC accolades, won the team's Heart and Hustle Award, and in her senior year, she was named MAC Player of the Year, All-MAC First Team, 11 total and 7 consecutive MAC West Division Player of the Week awards, named as an All-American Honorable Mention by the Associated Press, 4th in the NCAA with double-doubles with 31 out of 33 games, and she is 5th in the nation with 439 rebounds. Reyna leaves CMU as the leader in rebounds with 1,526, as well as 1,794 points, 232 assists, 181 steals, and 118 blocks. Reyna has a fan section called the Raybounds. Get it? Because she makes all the rebounds. Where they put on a t-shirt each time she made a rebound. She is a math major, posts frosty facts on Twitter, and wants to play professionally overseas and then become an astronaut. Wow. There's no doubt that Presley and Reyna have left an impression on this program like no one other, and therefore it is no surprise that their numbers, Presley number 3 and Reyna number 13, have been retired. No one at Central Michigan will ever wear those numbers again, based on such an impact, the legacy that these two ladies leave behind. And listeners, I think it's important for you to understand their impact. And I think that really sort of sets up this idea of their teammates. They had goals together. And then let's move back the curtain and understand their friendship a little bit more, because their game is fire, their class performance is fire, and I have a feeling that their friendship is going to be fire too. So let's dive in. There's probably some things people don't know about you regarding your friendship. So that's what we're going to do today. So do you remember when you met?
Yes. Okay, I'll tell the story.
Okay.
So Presley and I first met playing AAU, so we actually knew each other before we got here. Mm-hmm. And we were, obviously we weren't friends right away, but when the moment that we started, hanging out was our whole team went to the movie theater during one of our tournaments, mm-hmm. and our whole team wanted to see this scary movie. I think it was Conjuring. And Presley and I were both standing in line, but neither of us like scary movies.
Me either.
And so we were both just sitting there. And then I turned to Presley. I was like, "Do you like scary movies?" And she's like, "No." I was like, "Oh, I don't either." And so everybody went and saw Conjuring. And then Presley and I went with just each other to see Tammy, one of the comedies. And that's just how we became friends. It's the first time we hung out, and just after that, it just grew from playing together.
Yeah. Do you remember the movie theater visit, Presley?
Yes, I do. I was very glad. I hated scary movies, and Tammy was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you think about friendships as you get to know each other as first dates. Your first date was Tammy, the movie. Yeah. But did you know each other in terms of playing AU? Was it because you were on opposite teams and so you knew each other by your play, or did you interact with each other before the movie night?
We were on the same team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She played for a different team the year before. Mm-hmm. I played for the same team the year before, but she moved to our team going into our senior year, and then during a tournament we just went to the movies and stuff. Yeah. So, but yeah, we knew each other because we were on the same team. So we went to a lot of tournaments together.
Gotcha. And so when would you say then that you became, you knew that you were friends? Was it immediately the scary movie thing where you look at each other like in Step Brothers? Did we just become best friends? Or was it something as you were going through the season, or as you were looking for collegiate play, where you're going to go for school? When did you know that you were friends?
I would say it happened at the movie theater, but then it continued to grow when we got to college, because I had already committed to Central, and then Coach G was like, "Hey, I think Reyna's thinking about coming here," and I'm like, "That'd be sweet." and then Reyna committed, and then this freshman year we've been roommates ever since freshman year. So our friendship just grew ever since then.
So did you get to choose who your roommate was, or were you automatically put in there together, randomly put together as roommates?
Well, there was 5 of us coming in freshman year, mm-hmm. so 4 of us ended up living together.
Gotcha.
So, the odds were with us. So
the odds were in your favor.
Yeah. So it just worked out like that. And then the next year, we decided to stay living together, and then we ended up living with 2 people from other sports. And then after that, we decided to get an apartment together just because it was easier, and we knew we were comfortable living with each other.
Cool. Yeah, it seems like that would be a nice transition for the two of you, having played AU together, right? That you know each other, might be familiar with each other. What was it like coming in as first-year students here? You're starting basketball, you're starting school. What was it like to come in together? Did you talk about wanting to do all the things that you've done here at Central? Was that something that you talked about as teammates and as friends?
Yeah, we talked about that. We just kind of set goals. We would go in the coach's office too and just kind of be around them, and then we would just put goals in our mind that we wanted to accomplish, and then we were able to accomplish them with our hard work and stuff, that the time that we put in. So.
Yeah. Are you pleased with how things turned out here at Central?
Yeah, I'm very happy. Obviously, there's things that we wish we could change, go back and change. Every athlete wishes that kind of stuff. But, Presley and I did what we set out to do. She wanted to break the scoring record. I wanted to break the rebounding record. So we did that. And it was just really cool that we could do it together and see each other do it and grow into those kind of moments. But, there's going to be a lot of fun stuff that we'll be able to remember and look back on.
Yeah. What was your favorite part, would you say, being on the basketball team together?
For me, it was senior night. That was really cool to celebrate that with Presley and Jada and just seeing the community come together and all the coaches and our teammates celebrate us. So that was really special for me.
Cool. What about you, Presley?
I would say senior night's another, I would agree with Reyna. Senior night was awesome. I feel like so many people were there to support us, and just feeling that support was awesome. And then I would say the Sweet 16 as well, because that was just one of the funnest experiences I've ever had. So.
Yeah, it's so well documented. As I'm sitting in the locker room and there's a huge mural on the wall, like that is one of the things that's really neat about all the stuff that you've done is not only did you live it and do it through all your hard work and the community come together, but it's also so documented through video and images and social media. And so that's pretty neat that you can always look back and know that you did these things together. So what was it like? Tell us a little bit about being teammates. How do you help each other? How do you annoy each other?
I mean, freshman year was really hard for me. I mean, it was hard for both of us, I'm sure. But, my mental toughness wasn't there at all and stuff. And I think that being able to have Presley come to at home and just talk to me about basketball or just watching her work out motivated me to get in the gym and stuff. And because she was starting right away, and it was just cool to see someone do that. And then I think my toughness got to grow, and then Presley and I got more comfortable playing with each other even more, and we knew how each other played. And then eventually we got comfortable with saying good job, but also you need to do this, or we need to do this as leaders, we need to go talk to this person, that kind of thing. So I think that was the cool role going into our junior and senior year, that we knew we needed to step up more and hold our teammates accountable, not just ourselves. So,
yeah, and just being able to see the growth of Reyna from freshman to senior year, seeing Reyna not as I'd say aggressive offensively, but just kind of was that rebounder that everybody knew about. And then seeing her to go from senior year being the leading scorer, it was just crazy because she put in all this hard work throughout her 4 years, and to see her accomplish those goals that she put for herself was awesome.
Yeah. That's amazing. So it seems like you're able to work together as teammates, but that it overlaps with being friends. So did you ever have any difficulties because it's like a teammate and friend, and those overlap, but sometimes it can be difficult. Did you ever have any moments where you're like, I need to be a teammate now, or I need to be a friend now, and just put on that hat?
I mean, to me, it's kind of, the same thing. I don't know. I mean, we've always been athletes, so I've never really known what it's, I don't know.
Just to be
a normal friend, I guess. I'm sure friends get frustrated with each other in normal life, and I know we get frustrated with each other on the court, but that's what I'm saying. Going into sophomore and junior year, we knew we could talk to each other like that. We could say you need to box out, or Reyna, you need to attack the basket, or those kind of things. We could say that to each other. We're not going to take it personally, and it's just what we had to do. And I think we had some success from it. So.
Yeah. Do you think that's, just out of curiosity, do you think that's something that, because I have never been an athlete, so I was a cheerleader in high school so that I could go to basketball games and football games for free. But so I was never, and we didn't do stunts or anything. So, when cheerleaders do all that stuff, I would say they are athletes, but we weren't. We did some dancing and some cheers and that sort of thing. But so I've never been an athlete. Would you say that that is a quality that a lot of athletes have, that you can let things sort of roll off your back, that you don't take things personally? Because it's almost like if something doesn't go right in practice, well, then you have practice the next day. Right? Or, you have to shake off that game to play the next game. Whereas I think a lot of times there are people who might hold grudges or be mad at their friends for longer. Do you think that's something that you would describe yourself as being able to sort of separate personal stuff versus what you're doing on the court?
Yeah, for sure. Because, we've been athletes our whole life. So just being able, if something happens, be obviously it's not personal. Yeah. We can just move on, And if it is, we talk about it. So, yeah,
You're like, yes, exactly. And I'm like, I remember when she did this thing in the 3rd grade.
Oh gosh.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't hold a grudge. I'm just saying, like, I just think that, I mean, I'm a teacher, and so even sometimes when there's a bad class, it's like I have a hard time even shaking it off going into the next class. And I think that separates me. I think that's a quality that I see in athletes that I'm like, I could use that in my life to feel better about moving from one thing to the next. So what are some of the things that you remember about developing your friendship over the last 4 years? Are there any moments or events or stories that reflect your friendship?
I actually remember, so freshman year, we all moved in. I'm pretty sure it was like the first night, and it was me, Reyna, and Gabby. Mm-hmm. We were all just sitting together, and then we just started talking about like the weird stuff, like, hey, do you have any boyfriends? Like this stuff. Yeah. Like all like just the random stuff.
Yeah.
And then, so that's kind of like how I thought like it kind of grew too, because I was just like, how many other people in here are doing that right now? Like everybody else is probably in their dorm rooms just probably sleeping or something. But we were up at like midnight talking about stuff, random stuff. So
I mean, it's a lot of different things I could talk. Little stories. We do a lot of stuff together. And, I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but I remember one time, I think it was our sophomore year, we were just about to move out for the summer, and because I remember our dorm room was empty and we wanted to go rollerblading, and Presley was like, I can rollerblade. So I had an extra pair of rollerblades and I gave them to her, and she couldn't even stand up in them. She was just like falling all over, and I remember she fell and she had to like grab onto the door handle so she wouldn't like fall face first, and it was just so funny. And I still have that video. There's a video, and it's just so funny every time I see it. And our other roommate right now, her name's Avery, and she's like, let's go rollerblading. And Preston's like, yeah, I'm so good at rollerblading. And it's just so funny because I know she's not.
So what's up with the rollerblades? Did you think that you could rollerblade, or were you joking from the beginning?
Well, I actually learned how to rollerblade when I was younger, and then I like remember falling, and then I just was scarred for life, never wanted to rollerblade again. And then Serena was like, I kind of want to go rollerblading. And I was like, rollerblading is fun. I want to try it again. And then I just wasn't able to stand up at all. I'm like, how did I lose all this talent to rollerblade?
I think they say if you don't use it, you lose it.
I guess so. That's definitely true then.
Wow, I would have never... I can like imagine it in my head.
Yeah,
like,
literally trying to stand up, just falling every time. So.
See, that's the thing is when I see people rollerblading, they're like going down hills and stuff, I'm like, I don't like being out of control. And to me, that feels completely...
way too scary.
Just like those scary movies, right? All scary stuff, put it in a box, put on a shelf.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Any other stories that you can think of that reflect sort of how you've become friends?
I remember actually one time, it was junior year, we were in our apartment, and there was this huge bug.
Oh my gosh.
It was probably like the size of like a baseball.
The bug? Did you say bug?
A bug.
Okay.
Yes.
It's like the size of my
so gross.
pop filter.
Yeah, and it was humongous. And then Reyna was trying to get it, and then we were both trying to get it. We were trapping it with like a
It took like an hour.
Yeah, it took so long because I absolutely hate bugs. So it took us forever just to get it, and then we like slid like a plate or like a little thingy under it, and then we went outside and let it go. It was the scariest thing ever.
I feel like we have a lot in common because I don't like scary movies. Rollerblading is hard, and bugs are gross.
Yeah.
So check it out.
One of them showed up in our apartment this year too, and I was like, Presley, I'm not getting it. And remember, I was in my room, and Presley's room's by mine, and she was going to the bathroom. You had to walk by my room, and I was like standing on my bed because it was on the ceiling. And I was trying to get it, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "The bug's back. It's back," and I didn't want to touch it, and then someone went and got the vacuum. Oh, no, I don't know. Was it you?
Yeah, you had the vacuum, and then you're like, get it with the vacuum.
Yeah.
So I was like,
I had the vacuum. I gave it to her, and I made her get it. But I was like, why is it in this apartment now? So it's just...
It's following you.
Yeah.
So it seems like a lot of the things that helped you become friends was not just being on the team, but living together. And so it's like, okay, teammates, friends, and roommates. But thinking about that you spent a lot of time together in the last 4 years. Like, a lot of time. And, that's going to change soon. Have you talked about what the future is going to be like after graduation?
Well, eventually, so Presley and I are planning on playing overseas. Mm-hmm. And eventually we're really hoping that if our careers go well, we'll be able to negotiate to get us to play on the same team towards the end of our careers. So that'd be really cool if that happens. But, we're always going to be best friends, and we're always we'll probably be in each other's weddings, stuff like that. So
Presley's nodding her head, so there's agreement.
So, we'll probably talk every week and wherever our careers take us. Hopefully, if we're not playing on the same team overseas, hopefully we'll still be close to each other and go see each other. And, hopefully we'll still work out this summer and get together, and she'll come up here maybe, and then I'll probably go to Grand Rapids and work out with her. So, we're just going to find ways to still be around each other. So,
yeah. Have you thought about it at all, Presley?
Yeah, it'll be hard. But like she said, hopefully down the road we'll be able to play on the same team. We have the same agent too, so
cool.
I think that'll be a big factor in being able to negotiate a contract where we play together. Mm-hmm. And having the same agent, they usually try to put you if you're not on the same team, you'll probably be in the same general area. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we won't be that far away from each other that it'll be impossible to just go do something.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what I understand, if you're playing in Europe, for example, everything is so close, together, and you can just hop on a plane and you can be there really quickly. So if you're not on the same team, hopefully you're at least in driving or a quick flight distance. But that's one of the things that I think about as, having taught college for so many years and thinking about watching people be friends in my classes or say yell on the court when I come to the games, that there's a huge transition coming. And so I'm so happy to hear that if you haven't talked about it together, you're at least thinking about it individually and the conversation was forced here.
Yeah.
But that you're thinking about it, and that's what friends need to do. I think a lot of times people don't even make that consideration at all. And then it's what happened to our friendship? But when you can visualize or you want that person in your future, you're going to make it happen, even if it's through texting or weird time FaceTiming, in the middle of the night. Maybe anytime there's a bug in where you are, you're hey, can you come get this? So it's a huge transition, but it's cool to think that Presley and Reyna will be together for a long time to come. And I know that there's probably a lot of fans and community members and Chippewas and things like that. I'd be happy to see that journey as well. Mm-hmm. So what would you say has been your favorite part of being teammates together? You've played for a long time and you're hoping to play together in the future. And it doesn't even have to be a favorite part. What are your thoughts knowing that, Presley, when you're on the court with Reyna, what does that mean? And Reyna, for you, what does it mean knowing that Presley's there too? Is there a set of thoughts or feelings that you have knowing that you're on the court together?
I would just say we feed off each other's energy, on the court. So, say if I hit a 3 or something, or Reyna gets a big rebound, and I can depend on her to get a rebound. I remember there was one game, I was the girl was on our, we were shooting a free throw. I'm Reyna, if she misses, we need to get this rebound. Mm-hmm. And she missed and went and got the rebound. It's I bet no one else would be able to do that. So, I would just say we feed off each other's energy, and it just makes it more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Obviously, I can depend on Presley to hit those big shots for us and stuff, and I think that we do a good job of giving each other confidence. And sometimes she's my shot's not going. I'm Presley, you just got to keep shooting. I tell her she's the best shooter in the country. That's what I believe. And
snaps.
Exactly. And if you just watch that Eastern game when we were in the MAC tournament this year, we were down 3 and Eastern thought they'd won the game already and everything. And everybody, no one knows this, but when I set that screen, that wasn't the first time we've done something like that. Was it our freshman year against Bowling Green? Same thing happened. And she just got a wide open layup, and it was a game-winning shot right there too. And I knew that she would get the shot off, and when she made that shot, I was going crazy. It's just crazy. I I was laying on the ground because I fell.
That's what I was gonna say. Was that the one where you're on the ground and you're
and I didn't get up or anything. I just kept yelling, and I just kept sitting on the ground. So, but I was just so happy, and I think I knew she was gonna make that shot. I think our whole team knew that, and it's just, those kind of things that Presley does, and it's really cool to have someone like that on our team that can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I imagine some of that might translate over into other parts of your relationship, because when you have that much confidence in someone or you believe in someone, that other person knows it or can feel it. And so you know that that person is there for you, right? Like, do you, I guess what I'm trying to ask is that, like, on the court, you believe in each other. What is that like in your friendship? Are there particular qualities that stick out in your friendship that really reflect that you know that you're best friends?
I think sometimes I can be a serious person, and I can, get too caught up in school or get too caught up in things that are happening, and I can come home and Presley and my other roommate will be just, one time they were measuring each other's foreheads with a ruler. They do stuff like that, and it really takes my mind off of other things, so I can just depend on that to help clear my mind and forget that life isn't always so serious. You need to have fun. So, sometimes I join in, but other times I'm just like, what are you guys doing? But I don't know, it makes me happy, and there's a lot of things to remember. So I can really depend on her to, just lift my spirits and, just have fun, think about other things. So
yeah. I think that's a good way to put it. You can depend on Presley to have forehead measuring.
Yeah. Just to be doing dumb things.
Yeah.
Being goofy.
So what are some of the things that you would say, Presley, that you can depend on Reyna as a friend?
There's a lot of things. I would say just another person to have fun with. Like she said, she's a pretty serious person, but she'll also have fun too. And just kind of going to do go out to eat or go to the movies. Just having someone to go do stuff and have fun with and just be a friend with, because basketball can be stressful, school can be stressful, and then you can have family struggles and all that kind of stuff. So just being able to have someone to do fun stuff with, or just talk about life with, just talk about other things that you have going on and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Now, Reyna, you said that you're pretty serious, and Presley, funny because when you see you on the court, I cannot imagine a forehead measuring.
Yeah, you guys don't even know. Don't even know.
And so it sounds like you have things in common, like basketball and being athletes, but that you also complement each other in a lot of ways. And so you talked about life isn't as serious. Let's get out the ruler. And so are there things, Presley, that you would say that you gain from Reyna that might be something that you don't have, that it really benefits you from being friends with Reyna?
I would say because she's a more serious person, sometimes I'm like, okay, I probably should be serious in this situation. You know what I mean? And then also just she works really hard in her schoolwork. I do too, but just seeing her work hard and getting her stuff done, it motivates me to do it as well, because senior year, it's almost done. So I'm like, I do not want to do any homework. But then Reyna was doing homework all day yesterday, studying, and I'm like, all right, I should probably do some at least just to get some done. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's so close to graduation. Are you excited about graduation?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
It'll be hard, but just a new transition, new journey. And I'm excited for the next chapter in life to see what it brings. So,
just being able to focus on basketball.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
No school, just basketball.
Yeah.
I feel the same. Obviously, my career is being a professor, so I'll be back in the fall. But summer is podcasting. So I get that, where it's just trying to do this while I have grading and all the things that are going on. And so when school's over, it's okay, I might need a week to just crash, burn, and relax, binge watch everything. And then it's okay, then I can go into podcasting. So I don't have a gym schedule, podcasting is very sit still type of thing. But I get that. So can you tell me a little bit about, this is one of the things that I do on the podcast. One of the things I like to do is start with the origin story. So I like to hear how people start their friendship. And it sounds like for you, it was just something in common with basketball and then not liking scary movies. And that sort of started your friendship maybe in a more deeper way, or a more important way, or a more meaningful way than some of the other relationships that you had. And then seeing throughout basketball and living together, all the things that happen and so many memories that helps build the friendship. And so the other thing that I like to do on the podcast is something I call Dear Friend. And it is basically you telling your friend, oh God, they're already looking at each other like, I can't look at you. You know where it's going, right? It's basically, what does the other person mean to you? So like, Reyna, what has it meant for Presley to be your friend? Presley, what has it meant for Reyna to be your friend? And so it's more of like an oral note versus like writing something. And so if you need a minute to gather your thoughts and fight over who goes first, feel free.
Oh boy. We don't get that personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you that. Why do you think that is the case? Like, is that more of like your personality or your?
Yeah, it's just our personality.
Yeah.
Like
we know we love each other, but
yeah, like Reyna doesn't like to hug people. I'm not really like a hugger. I wouldn't say I'm like, oh my gosh, give me a hug. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like out of all the 4 years, we probably hugged each other like
Twice.
maybe twice. You know.
Not even like after a win?
I mean, when
Like senior night,
Oh, okay.
or like
Yeah.
Sweet 16,
Or like
and stuff like
yeah,
that.
if you count like all of us jumping in a huddle.
Yeah.
Like, well, I remember when we won the MAC tournament, there's this picture of me and Presley both, like, we jumped into each other's arms in the air.
Yeah.
But that, I mean,
That's
there's-
not a hug. That's
No.
like
That's just excitement. Yeah.
yeah, but
So.
I mean, it's just, we know we care about each other. We're just not those, I mean, not that personal. I don't know.
I've just never really been that kind
Yeah,
of
me
like
neither.
Yeah.
been that way, you know. But I guess it's good to be both, you know.
Yeah. You know, it's just one of those things that, like, I think a lot of times that people don't know how other people feel about them. And so one of the things that I talk about on the podcast is that, you know, when I was in high school, my best friend was killed in a car accident. And so I didn't get to tell her how I felt. And so that's something where that comes from. But I get that. Like, if your friendship works the way that it works, then it works for the two of you, right? Like, so it's not like forcing you into some like emotional, like, I want to see you cry. Like, let's see the tears. But the important thing I think here is that I think in a lot of friendships, we might need to hear it. But if you know it, then you might not need to say it. Like, if you know that you love each other, then why do you need to say it?
Right.
You're like, we're good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we do stuff for each other to show us, like, I buy her ice cream. She'll buy me some Starburst. Just little things.
Yeah.
Do you know what love languages are? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, but I don't know what mine is. How do you figure that out? I don't know.
Well, let's see. So there's 5 of them. One of them is physical touch. I'm going to say no on that.
No.
One is gifts, which might be the ice cream and Starburst. The other one, there's one of words of affirmation, which is where nope, okay, she's shaking her head on that one. Quality time,
Is it?
spending time together.
I mean, yeah, we do
I would
that.
say yeah. Because like me and my other roommate, Raina will sometimes like go in her room and watch whatever. I don't know what she watches. She watches a lot of different shows.
Yeah.
And then like we'll be upstairs and we'll be like, Raina, get up here. It's Friendship Day.
Yeah, we do. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That is something new we started doing this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, well, okay. So tell me about Friendship Day. So that does sound like quality time. And then the last one is service, where you do favors for
I
each
do
other.
like that one too.
Yeah.
When someone does the dishes, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But y'all know I'm going to want to know more about Friendship
Oh,
Day.
I want to
so
talk
let's go
about
there.
Friendship
Yeah,
Day.
let's go there. See, it doesn't, and I appreciate this, and I'm going to keep all of this in. I'm not going to edit anything because I think it is important to know that all friendships can be different, and it matters what works for you. So although I've had people cry in the show as they talk about each other, that you just know it and you show it through Friendship Day. So please tell us about Friendship Day.
So it's not an actual day. We don't set a day.
Yeah.
We just like randomly. So I think it started when we were in Olive Garden. Yeah. And we were with our other roommate Avery, and the waitress came up and she's like, "Are you celebrating anything today?" And she just randomly said, "It's Friendship Day." So we just all started laughing, and then the waitress started laughing, and she's like, "Okay." And then, we got our food and stuff, and then one of us went on our phones, and then we all looked at it, and then the other two looked at him and was like, "You have to put your phone down. It's Friendship Day." So every once in a while, we'd be like, someone won't be in the room, or like, so we'll be sitting in the living room, and like say if Presley's on her phone while we're watching like American Idol, me and Avery will look at each other and we'll just stare at Presley, and then she'll look up and she'll be like, what? And we'll be like, it's Friendship Day. So if it's Friendship Day, that means you have to put your phone down and you have to like talk to each other. You have to like just hang out with each other, those kind of things. So it's just really fun when that stuff comes up. Yeah.
Do you know that there is actually a Friendship Day?
I believe it.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a day for everything. So
Yeah.
there has to be a friendship day.
Yeah.
True, but this is an important day for a friendship podcast, right? No, there's like International Friendship Day, and then there's Friendship Day, and I think there's Best Friends Day. And so I can't remember when Best Friends Day is, but the other two are in the July-August timeframe. So then you might have to have an official friendship day where you come back together. But I like it because it's like a phrase that you can say to each other to be like, all right, let's focus on what we're doing here and being together.
Yeah.
Friendship Day.
It happens probably like 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Friendship Day is every day.
Yeah, basically.
Do you have anything else like that where you have certain phrases or nicknames or language that you use in your friendship that communicates certain things to each other?
I don't know if Presley remembers this, but I think it was when we were underclassmen, we were watching Phineas and Ferb, and there's this one episode with this little alien, and his name's Meep, and Presley and I just kept saying Meep to each other, and we'll be like, that's our code word if something goes wrong. So we just be like, Meep, 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 like if something happens, and we don't really do that a lot anymore. I don't know why, I just thought of that. Yeah. But I'd be like, it'd be funny if we're on the court and just be like, Meep or something. And I don't know. It's just stuff like that.
Did it ever happen on the court?
I don't think so, but.
No. But just
you really dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah. But it just like, just being funny, we would do it, just for random times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny.
And again, I just think it's funny because like from the outside point of view of being in the stands that I would never, it's not like it's like you're just basketball robots or anything like that, but it's fun to hear more about who you are when you're not playing basketball and who you are together and, who you are going to be in the future, as you continue your friendship. So I think it's pretty neat, but I'm still laughing about all this stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
I have a lot of videos. It's pretty funny.
I accept videos here on Best Forevers to promo episodes. Presley's like, no, not the
I could send that one. That one's funny.
Is there anything else that you want to share about your friendship?
I'll talk about one thing. I think that a reason why we like work so well together is because like Presley and I share like a lot of the same values. Like we neither of us drink and smoke and stuff, and I think that's really why we grew in our underclassmen years, because like I think a lot of, I don't know if it's bad to say, but I think a lot of freshmen like are pressured to go out like with their teammates and stuff, because like a lot of people like to go out and party, and Presley and I had each other when like other teams wanted to go out, or like other people in our classes wanted to go out and that kind of thing. So we were able to like, just hang out with each other, watch movies. Like when we were up here for Christmas break, like we binge watch on Netflix and stuff like that. So we were able to like grow with each other like that. And I think it really made us comfortable to be able to like stay who we are and not fall to that kind of thing. And, it still happens today. So I think that's a really big part of it. It's something that I really appreciate, that like, God put someone like her in my life so I could stay with what I wanted to be, like be the person I wanted to be. So
yeah. I think that it really helps, especially if you come in and you have particular goals that you like to achieve, both athletically, but academically, that you help each other stay focused if you have the same values. And I think that's something that we see with friendship, is that a lot of friendships are based in similarity. And that not everyone has to be exactly the same, but it's certainly like we feel comfortable or we can relate better to people who are similar to us and, keep us in line.
Right.
Would you agree with that, Presley? What do you think?
I would absolutely agree, because when you're in college, it just is a lot of people. You're in that environment, and I knew like I wasn't going to get pulled into that. And like other people were like, oh, peer pressure is so big. And I'm like, it's within yourself to say no. You know what I mean? Like you have the power to say yes or no. So I just like, I knew I wasn't gonna get pressured into that. And then to be able to have somebody with you that agrees with you and like has the same values as you made it like a lot easier, because then you have somebody to hang out with and you're not just alone and just chilling in your room doing nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that, one of the things that I talk about on the podcast that I feel pretty strongly about, that Like I've thought about as someone who studies and teaches friendship that loneliness or rejection or not feeling like you fit in is really critical. But as I've started doing this podcast, and I did an episode about like how difficult it can be to make friends and things like that, I'm becoming more aware of that. So I do different things. Like I have a program that raises money for buddy benches so that there can be a spot for kids to like, I need a buddy.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so it's just one of those things, like I think I become more aware of that. And so it might not have been something where you felt that way, but you could have if you didn't have a Reyna or if Reyna didn't have a Presley, that transition into college and being here to play basketball and to do the things that you want to do academically, that it can be really hard for a lot of students. And so when you can find someone that is sort of like your person that can relate to you and connect, and you can talk about things and measure each other's foreheads or whatever it is that you do. Like, I think that's really important. I think that's one of the things that I would like to focus on at Central is like how we can help people transition in making connections. And it doesn't have to be necessarily with professors or roommates, but it is finding like a friend, right? And it probably was nice knowing that you were coming in knowing someone, but you still developed your relationship further and it became, I don't want to say, it became a better friendship. But you know what I mean? Like it became something that you worked on and you had more time to be friends and you spent a lot of time together. Mm-hmm. So I do have to ask, because we've heard about rollerblading, we've heard about ridiculous bugs that follow you everywhere. We've heard about the forehead measuring. And I feel like I saw a video on Twitter.
The cheese video.
The cheese video. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about the cheese video? And then I'm wondering if you might be able to round out with some other high quality fun times. Like if people need something to do with their friends, it sounds like first thing, like Friendship Day, obviously.
Yes. We've been making a lot of videos lately. You just don't see them all.
Yeah. But yeah, so tell us about the cheese video.
You want to tell?
Yeah. So
yes.
There's like have you ever seen the cheese videos where
is it where they're throwing it at children?
Yeah. It's like this little baby and then they'll just throw it at their face and it'll stick. So then Reyna and my other roommate were like, oh, we should do it to you. And I'm like, sure, why not? You know what I mean? Like, sure, whatever. So I'm like, I just sit there and it, like, first time, no. It probably took them like 15 tries to actually get it. And then like after it happened, someone like told Reyna, they're like, you're supposed to warm the cheese up. And then I'm like,
yeah, we didn't know that.
Well,
if we didn't know that, then we probably would have got on the first try. But yeah, it took so long.
It was pretty funny to watch.
It kind of hurt a little bit too.
It's
like,
so funny. Every time I watch that video, it's so funny to watch her face and reactions. And then we're like, does it stick? We like we just set it on there to see if it sticks. Like, it sticks, and then it still wouldn't work. Our other roommate likes to dance and stuff, so she's weird too. But there's this Hannah Montana song that people were like dancing to, and Presley and Avery wanted to do it, and I don't like to dance that much. I can't dance. I tried to do the dance move one time, and it was bad. But we figured out a way to incorporate me in the video.
You're just like standing there.
Basically, they're like dancing, and I just come up and walk to the camera and then hide.
But she has like sunglasses on, and then she has a rose in her mouth.
Yeah. So
That's hilarious.
That's a funny video, but we just do stuff like that. We do a lot of stuff we see online. Like we have a group chat on Twitter, so we'll send each other tweets, but like this is what we're doing next or something like that. Yeah. Just have fun like that too. So
yeah. Friends always have like their own thing, right? Like there's different things that people do to spend their time and do things together. I have like friends that tell me like their main thing is just sending memes back and forth. Like that's what they do all day, just send memes back and forth, right? We talk about true crime together, right? They listen to the true crime podcast or whatever. So it's just interesting. And yours is like, what Twitter challenge?
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe the next goal is like, how viral can you get with a Twitter challenge?
Yeah. Our other roommate doesn't like to be posted about those, so it's hard to like.
So it's like a private collection of videos.
Press would be like, I don't care if you post it, but my other roommate is like, was I in it? And I'm like, just your hand. She's like, all right, you can post it. So.
Why make videos if not everyone in the world can enjoy?
That's what I'm saying. Twitter's funny, so
yeah,
that's my favorite.
Speaking of Twitter, do you have any Frosty facts for today?
Oh gosh. Well, I'll just tell you the one I was going to post today.
Okay, cool. This doesn't come out till Friday, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're good.
So The Hershey Kiss, the Hershey Kiss and the paper that comes out, it's called the Niggly Wiggly. I'm going to post that one today. So I know.
Okay, question, just out of curiosity. Where do you get your information from? There are particular web pages that you get information from, or I mean, you don't have to give away all your secrets.
Okay, I won't give them all away. But sometimes I just read about stuff. Like I'll just read something random, and then it'll make me think of something. Or I'll just be laying in bed and be like, "Why is a rug called a rug?" Or something. I don't know, just random stuff. And I'll just look it up, and then other things will come up. Sometimes I see stuff on Twitter, and then it'll make me think of stuff, and I just look things up. Or sometimes I tweet about like yesterday was Earth Day, so I tweeted about like recycling and stuff. So sometimes I'm trying to make it like good for people to see. Sometimes I just try to make it funny or something interesting. But
say it again, a Niggly Wiggly.
Niggly Wiggly, yes.
So I'm going to send you the dates for Friendship Day, and then you can do a fun fact about Friendship Day.
I'll post pictures of her too. Put her with it.
I'll be exposed.
The rollerblading video.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that you can use some of that as like ransom? Like you can hold it?
I don't think she'd care. So I don't know. She's a very, if it's funny, it's funny. Obviously I'm not gonna post anything mean, so.
Yeah.
But.
No, the thing about it is like you're fun. Like you create that fun and, while you're staying focused and doing the things that you want to do. And I think that's going to continue. And it's just really neat to see. And, that's what I like to do on Best Forever is just like, this is a different type of friendship that, people don't know about. And so I just think that it's really cool to hear about how you spend time together.
Yeah.
And my friends are really going to have to step it up. After this, I'm going to get my group text and be like, what are we going to do now? Are we going to have a friendship day?
Yeah.
Friendship day.
There you go. It'll help. Yeah. I think a lot of people, like, they'll see Presley on the court, and obviously she's serious on the court and stuff. She gets mad at herself. Sometimes you'll see her, like, slap the floor or something. And I just look at her and be like, you're fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But they think she's obviously, when she plays, she's not that emotional. But I'll come home and she'll have candy, trying to make a mustache, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, people really don't know the whole Presley, so it's really cool that I get to see that.
And it's really cool that you're willing to share that here today on Best Forevers, because I think that one of the things that I wanted to share with you, and so I'll tell you now, is I went to your very first home game, and like I've been to several games, but went to your very first home game, and I was sitting behind this lady, and I don't remember at what point you came in the game, but after like 2 minutes, she just told everyone, that's my new favorite player. Reyna's, what's her name? Reyna. She's my new favorite player. And at that same game, your coach, who always does the after the game speeches, right, where it sounds like everyone's booing her, but they're going, Sue.
Yeah.
Like I always see the teams leaving, and they're like, are we getting booed? Like I'm like, no, it's not about you. But I remember her saying, you're going to really enjoy watching this team play. They're going to be a lot of fun. And then I've brought my dad to several games, and every time you make a basket, he's like, what's her name again? Presley. Presley's good. But that's been the case for 4 years. And so I think that some of the best fans I've ever seen, and I went to Michigan State, Penn State, and some smaller schools where I taught, and now here, some of the best fans I've ever seen are the women's basketball fans. And like they're just always there. Like and that's been amazing. And so I like to sort of wrap it up with that and just saying that I know that y'all go out in the stands afterwards and you interact with. There's so many girls that like want to get their picture with you and they're so excited, like your role models. And I say that how many times, I don't know if you know that was me, but every time you do something, I'll be like, I want to be her when I grow up and I'm 40. Like you are these like wonderful role models and you have all of the support. And so can you talk a little bit, because although it might not be friendship, I think there is a special connection between women's basketball players and their fans. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. After every game, we go up into the crowd and we get to know people. Our whole team goes out and volunteers, and we get to meet the kids at like a recess or the teachers and that kind of thing. We get to meet a lot of parents who be like, I'm so glad like you're a role model for my daughter or my son. Like they went into the gym yesterday because they wanted to be better and that kind of thing. And that's the stuff that you really like to hear. And they have kids come to our camps and stuff and really just want to be around you, want to learn from you. Is really cool. And I've grown close with a lot of people, and one of I'm really close with this farm family that's up here now. And I worked on their farm the past 2 summers, and they come to every home game. and they're like my second family now. So it's just really cool that I could make that connection here in Mount Pleasant and, you know, have those people in my life for the rest of my life too. And just remember that I got to share those moments with those people, and none of that would have happened without basketball. So
yeah, I'd agree. I also found like a second family up here. They're like, they kind of knew my dad a little bit, and then they came to every home game, and then like when they could, obviously sometimes they couldn't make it, but I was just able to build a relationship with them and just be really close with them, and then kind of depend on them if I needed anything as well. And then just the support here has been amazing. They're just so consistent here all the time, and like the little kids, they're so cool. They're just screaming and yelling for you. They might not know who you are, but like the next one. And it's just so cool to see, and it kind of just reminds you that like it's so much more than basketball. Like the parents, like Reyna said, will come up to you and be like, hey, like my little daughter works so hard and she doesn't even like basketball, but she just admires your work ethic and all that. And it's just like, it just like makes me step back and like think like this is more than basketball. Like it's about other things too. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty amazing to watch like as an outsider, but also as like an insider in some ways, because you know, I'm a season ticket holder. I've been at the games. I have like pictures with you in the stand after a game. I'll just be like, Presley! And like retweeting. And just this last week in my quantitative methods class, I used your records for them to do statistics by hand. So I was like, you're going to learn about Reyna and Presley.
That's funny.
That's so cool.
But I think it is amazing. You say you talk about the little girls, and I think that's so important, because I think that little girls need role models to know that if they can do what they want, and they can, if they work hard and that sort of thing. And it's also like, I mean, like I'm 40, but sometimes I'm like, I need to like sit down with Reyna. Maybe she can tell me how to organize my day, because I need some help. But also I just think that you're inspiring, not just, it's to all ages, right? And I think that's really amazing, and why it's been such a joy to watch you the last 4 years, but also to get to know you a little bit more off the court, in the locker room, as friends. And so, you know, Presley, you talked about looking forward to the next chapter. And I think that the fans of Central Michigan's women's basketball team will be looking forward to your next chapter too. So thank you so much for coming on Best Forevers and telling us all about your secret things that you do at home.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think there's so many qualities that athletes have that translate well to being a friend. Like being on a team can translate to you being a good friend. Because there's so many things that Presley and Reyna talked about that I think makes their friendship strong and their relationship as teammates strong. And I think because of that, they were able to accomplish so much together. They talked about being able to count on each other, to be able to rely on each other, but to stay focused, to motivate each other, to set goals together, to get rid of bugs together, to try to rollerblade together and have a lot of fun off the court so that they can be more focused when they're on the court. And I think that reflects a really cool friendship. And so although we might not all be athletes, but I think we can appreciate the fact that we can all have a friendship day, because without our friends, who would we be? Thanks for listening to Best Forevers. If you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and of course, share with a friend. Please be sure to follow Best Forevers on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Best Forevers Pod, and I'm at Dr. Alysa Lucas on Twitter. You can always find the podcast webpage for more information at bestforeverspod.com, and share your stories of friendship by emailing me at bestforeverspod@gmail.com. And if you'd like to support the movement to love on our friends more, check out the podcast on patreon.com/bestforeverspod. Now, friends, check out this recommended podcast that you must get in your ear holes immediately. Welcome to STEM Fatale, your Women in Science History podcast.
I'm Emlyn Gremlin.
I'm Emma Dilemma.
And we're two STEM PhD students. Trying to learn more about all the women that science history has overlooked.
Every episode, we tell the story of a historical female scientist. We discuss their struggles, research accomplishments, and get into the crazy bananas sexism they faced in pursuing their scientific dreams.
Do you like stories about escaping from the Nazis? We got them.
Or stories about NASA's lack of understanding of the female body. Yeah, we got those too.
We've got it all.
So take a listen
And
Go stimulate yourself.